Hello guys, welcome back to our anime explainer. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of upcoming episode of Battle Through the Heavens based on novel. So let's start. The brilliant flame was just like a fire cloud that spread within the empty air. A terrifying temperature rose in this place, causing the sea of blood on the ground to quickly vaporize. Alliance Chief. It's Alliance Chief Xiao Yang. The Alliance Chief has exited his retreat. We are saved. All hail the Alliance Chief. This sudden flame protection caused everyone, who were fleeing in panic, to come to a halt. Many pairs of eyes were thrown towards the sky. Finally, they gathered on a familiar figure within the brilliant flame. Immediately, the faces of everyone revealed an excitement and wild joy. A deafening cheer resounded over this place. Many of them had even knelt down in their excitement. The hope after despair caused their faces, which still had some lingering panic, to tear from their great joy. After the various battles, Xiaoyang's position in the hearts of everyone within the alliance was something that no one could match. Although Xiaoyang might be lacking in terms of age and experience, everyone knew that it was precisely these seemingly weak shoulders that were supporting the entire alliance. In the hearts of many members of the alliance, that figure was one that would never fail. This was a kind of cult-like crazy devolution that they had towards Xiaoyang in their hearts. This kind of craziness would clearly spread wildly like a virus amidst this despair. Hence, even those who did not belong to the Sky Mansion Alliance also revealed an excited expression on their faces. They needed a support that they could rely on in the face of complete hopelessness. The fire curtain spread in the sky and enveloped the millions of people around. The human figure within the brilliant flame also became increasingly clear as the fire curtain spread. Finally, the flame weakened and a black-clothed figure clearly appeared in the air. It is really Xiao Yang. A large number of experts had clustered together a short distance from the Alliance headquarters. From the looks of it, all of them belonged to the same faction. At this moment, a burly man from within the group was lifting his head. His eyes were fiery hot as he looked at the figure in the sky. Rich excitement filled his voice. Big brother Liu Qing, is it really him? A pretty lady behind the man involuntarily asked. Who could have imagined that after having not met this person for just over a decade, the junior whom she had trained with at the Jiunan Academy back then had actually reached the true peak of the continent? Ha ha, Liu Fei, there is definitely no mistake. This fellow is really too terrifying. Back then at the academy, his strength was still similar to mine. The man was surprisingly the person called Tyrant Spear Liu Qing back at the Jiunan Academy back then. Liu Fei bit her red lips with the back of her teeth. She lifted her head and looked at the distant sky, where the figure, which was worshipped by countless of people like a god, stood. Her expression was a little complicated. Who could have imagined that the person, who had a little conflict with her at the inner academy back then, would actually have reached such a stage? Some other familiar eyes were also observing the figure in the sky from other spots around the alliance. All of them sighed emotionally. Xiao Yang. The many experts from the Han clan outside of the fire barrier revealed a dense shock in their eyes as they looked at the familiar figure. Clearly, none of them could imagine that Xiaoyan had actually reached this terrifying stage after having been missing for over half a year. Dodi. Han Tendi stood on the blood lotus. His blood eyes had also revealed an intense fluctuation. A moment later, he finally could not resist muttering, "How is this possible? How is this possible?" Han Tiendi's expression suddenly became ferocious as he muttered. His voice had also turned into a roar that reverberated like a thunder in the sky. Han Tiendi could not be blamed for suddenly losing himself. He had paid an unknowingly great price in order to reach this stage today. Yet, after he had succeeded, he found that there was someone else who had also reached the same stage as him. How could he easily accept this? This was especially the case given that this person was merely an ant, which he could easily kill a year ago. The unbalance in his heart had reached its limit. Ha ha, you are not the only person in this world who has advanced into the Dodi class. A black-clothed young man appeared after the flame scattered. He lifted his head and watched Tendi, who seemed to have lost control of himself. A smile was involuntarily formed. Those originally dark black eyes currently had a brilliant luster surging within them. They appeared unusually warm and deep. There was a fire seal on his brow. It was made of many different brilliant color. A kind of special fluctuation was being emitted from it. In the face of this ripple, the magma deep underground had begun flowing at a significantly faster rate. Xiaoyang quietly stood in the sky. There was not the slightest Do-Chi ripple over his body. He appeared extremely ordinary. However, only a genuine expert could sense just what kind of unimaginable power was present within the skinny body. That strength could destroy the world. Your body has the scent of the Qiu-Shi ancient god. Tendi was after all not an ordinary person. After experiencing the initial shock, the ripple within his blood eyes also calmed down. His expression had a trace of gloominess, as he carefully observed Xiaoyang and spoke in a dense voice. I was merely lucky in obtaining the inheritance of the ancient god. Xiaoyang laughed softly. Damn nihility, devouring flame. Xiaoyang glanced at him indifferently. Immediately, his eyes swept over this land, which was about to break apart. Finally, he extended his hand. A brilliant light landed on Zhu Kuan, who was sent flying towards the ground by a kick from Tendi. The ferocious injuries on Zhu Kuan's body was swiftly healed under this brilliant light. Zhu Kuan's huge body swiftly turned into a human form after his injuries were healed. His expression was slightly pale, as he smiled bitterly and spoke to Xiaoyang, you are finally out. If you are a little later, everyone present would have likely been killed by that fellow. Elder Zhu Kuan, please rest for a while. Xiaoyang said in a gentle voice. Understood. Although Xiaoyang's voice appeared quite gentle, Zhu Kuan could still detect that vague pressure contained inside it. That pressure seemed to surpass this world. Under it, even he had no choice but to lower his head. Immediately, he nodded and said, we will guard against the army of the Han clan. Tendi will be left to you to deal with. Dodi could ultimately only be dealt with by Dodi. Xiaoyang smiled and nodded. His eyes swept below. The corner of his lips curled, as he saw the Alliance army having suffered terrible losses. From the looks of it, Tendi was clearly intending to kill all of them. What ruthless methods! You have actually created such a massacre, in order to complete the final step of the Di-tier embryonic pill, Xiaoyang remarked softly. The winner is king. The process is unimportant. Tendi laughed coldly. He stared at Xiaoyang and said, today will be the decisive battle between all of us. If you lose, none of the Alliance army will remain. If you are defeated, the Han clan will also be exterminated. Xiaoyang spoke in a faint voice. He had long since held a deep hatred against the Han clan. If he had the opportunity, he would definitely not be merciful. He would kill those he ought to kill. Ha ha, good. In that case, let me see if it is my Han clan, or your Alliance army that will be exterminated today. Tendi laughed out loud. Monstrous blood chi erupted from within his body. It quickly turned into an endless sea of blood. The energy contained within this sea of blood was terrifyingly strong. All members of the Han clan, withdraw 5,000 kilometers. Tendi cried out in an icy voice, was the sea of blood spread. The experts from the Han clan hurriedly pulled back upon hearing his cry. The fight between two elite Dodi could destroy the world. If they were to be caught in it, even an elite Doxing would definitely die on the spot. Moreover, everyone understood that the ones who were the key to victory was Xiaoyang and Tendi. The result of their fight would decide on the final outcome of both parties. Xiaoyang, today is the day I have become a god. Xiaoyang, you must let me have an enjoyable battle. Monstrous blood chi spread across Tendi's eyes. He stood in the sea of blood. At this moment, a soaring pride was present. This person might be vicious, but he could also be considered a haughty and strong individual. One of them would definitely end up dying in this battle. Xiaoyang had to fight with his full strength in this battle. I will join you till the end. There was also a little excitement surging in Xiaoyang's eyes. This battle would become the top fight within the entire Do-Chi continent in 10,000 years. This battle would definitely spread through the generations. Everyone halted their breaths as they looked at the sky, which had become empty almost instantly. The two of them had not attacked, but their aura had already pressed on everyone's heart like a mountain. Clamor, clamor. The sea of blood covered the sky. Tendi's eyes' scarlet color seemed to have become much denser. His foot suddenly stepped forward as this face-off lasted for a moment. Bang! The entire sky had trembled as he took this step forward. The monstrous sea of blood churned crazily. It directly turned into a huge hundreds of thousand feet large blood wave as it ruthlessly swept towards Xiaoyang. Xiaoyang's body was any tiny as an ant in the face of the huge 100,000 feet blood wave. Xiaoyang's eyes, which contained a brilliant glow, stared at the blood wave, which had a shocking momentum. The energy contained within it could easily shatter a 9-star elite Doxing along with his soul. Flame, come. Xiaoyang moved his mouth. A soft voice was emitted. The moment it did so, the land below rumbled and split into a huge gully. Crimson magma shot towards the sky like a fountain. Finally, it floated in the sky, turning into a huge magma wave that violently clashed with the blood wave. Boom! The land trembled. Blood rain, that was accompanied with magma poured down from the sky like a storm. It enveloped around the entire central plains. Tendi was unsurprised that his attack was stopped. If it was so easy to finish off an elite Dodi, he would not have insisted on pursuing it for thousands of years. Despite this being the case, his expression had clearly become a little more solemn. Xiaoyang had received his attack with such ease. This meant that Xiaoyang had also truly entered this stage, and was not relying on some external item to help him temporarily step into it. Blood demon heart eroding lightning. Tendi stepped on the blood lotus. His hand suddenly pointed towards the blood cloud that covered the central plains. The blood cloud immediately shook intensely like a giant organ, and violently shrunk into his body. Bang, bang, bang. During the time that the seemingly boundless blood cloud was shrinking, the space itself also crumbled. Dark black cracks in space spread in the sky with a terrifying speed. In the next moment, the blood cloud suddenly spread. Countless mountain-like blood lightning crazily shot towards Xiaoyang below in a storm-like fashion. The energy contained in every drop of blood rain was sufficient to shock Gu Yuan's group. A grave expression flashed over Xiaoyang's eyes as he looked at the blood lightning that came raining down from all over the place. Incomparably ferocious vicious aura was present in the blood lightning. If one was struck and the vicious aura entered one's body, it would end up damaging one's mind. Brilliant flame swiftly swept out from within Xiaoyang's body. Finally, it turned into a giant flame person that stood in the air. This flame giant widened its huge mouth. Immediately, the world became quiet. An extremely brilliant flame suddenly spat out from his mouth like a burning cloud and collides with the countless blood lightning. Rumble. The brilliant flame and the blood lightning crazily collided in the sky. The entire land trembled and formed many huge cracks under this incomparably strong energy fluctuation. Everyone's hearts were seized as they looked at the blood lightning and flame attacks that were exchanged in the sky. Such a terrifying exchange could no longer be described with words. Any single attack would likely cause countless deaths and injuries if it landed on the headquarters of the alliance. Which of the two has a higher chance of victory? Lei Ying asked as he stood beside Xiao Yan. Even he was also frightened by the terrifying battle. Xiao Yan was startled as he heard this. He laughed bitterly and shook his head. This is also the first time I am witnessing a fight between Dodi. It is really difficult to predict just who has a higher chance of victory. However, Tendi is after all the clan head of the Han clan. An elite Dodi had also appeared in the Han clan before. It is likely that he would be a little better than Xiaoyang in terms of the usage of some energy. Of course, you need not be too worried. Xiaoyang had also obtained the inheritance of the Qiu Shi ancient god. He might also possess some lethal attacks. Everyone could only smile bitterly and nod their heads after hearing this. They continued to watch the great world battle in an anxious manner. It was basically impossible for them to intervene when it came to such a big battle. Blood lightning covered the sky. Tendi looked at Xiaoyang, who did not show any signs of being at a disadvantage when facing his attacks. A gloomy expression flashed across his eyes. This kind of stalemate fight was not something that he wished to see. Xiaoyang, do not think that just because you have advanced into the Dodi class, you will be able to fight against me. Tendi inhaled a breath of air. His eyes had suddenly become extremely grave. The blood lightning that filled the sky had weakened. Tendi suddenly widened his mouth in front of the many terrified eyes. A suction force erupted. The blood cloud that permeated the sky had actually turned into a blood light that charged into his mouth at this moment. The thick blood cloud was gathered from the essence cloud of many people. However, it was devoured by Tendi at this moment. After the blood cloud, which had covered the central plains for half a year, was being devoured, the warm sunlight once again came pouring down. Many people were a little excited as they looked at the somewhat glaring sunlight. Only after sensing the atmosphere of doomsday arriving did they realize just how precious those usually ordinary things were. Of course, they also understood that now was not the time to be excited. The battle in the sky, which would determine the fate of the Dochi continent, had only just entered its intense stage. Crack crack. After the blood cloud, which spread over the sky, was swallowed by Tendi, the latter's body swelled. Within a short instant, it had turned into 100,000 feet large blood-colored giant. Blood light rapidly gathered on his body. Finally, it turned into a layer of blood armor that surrounded the 100,000 feet large body. The blood giant stood in the sky and covered it. In the face of the terrifying visual assault, no one suspected that this punch of Tendi would be able to turn the area within tens of thousands of kilometers into a deep gully. Ha ha, this is my blood-D body. What can you do? Tendi's huge blood eyes stared at Xiaoyang. Currently, wind lightning surged as he breathed. He exhaled and the energy of the entire central plains seemed to have fluctuated greatly. Dodi's body. The expressions of Xiao Yan and the others changed drastically as they looked at the 100,000 feet large Tendi. Being from the ancient clans, they were naturally aware that an elite Do-Chi could incorporate the world in their bodies. At that time, they would be the world. Just the lift of a hand could destroy the universe. Its might was extremely great and terrifying. This huge body was not formed from energy. Instead, it was a firm actual body. One could just imagine how terrifying the aura of 100,000 feet body was. This kind of ability is referred to by the others as the Dodi body. This was because one could only use it after reaching the Dodi class. Hence, the expressions of Xiao Yan and the others changed drastically after seeing this scene. Before they could panic, however, Xiaoyang in the sky looked at this huge figure fearlessly and laughed. His hands formed different seals. Subsequently, the land was split apart. Endless magma rose. Finally, they turned into a rich red flame and swarmed into Xiaoyang's body. After these rolling red flames surged into Xiaoyang's body, he began to swell in front of the countless pairs of anxious eyes. Moreover, brilliant flame swiftly whistled out from the pores all over his body. They turned into many fire dragons that lingered around him. You do have some ability. A surprise flashed across Han Tiandi's eyes after he saw the brilliant fire dragons lingering around Xiaoyang's body. He immediately laughed coldly. I wish to see whether this blood di body of mine, or your flame di body is stronger. Han Tiendi took a stride forward as his cold laughter sounded. He was accompanied by wind and lightning as a seemingly ordinary punch was thrown. It quickly collapsed in the sky. Endless blood qi surged towards Xiaoyang from all directions. The wind was incomparably terrifying. Humph! Xiaoyang snorted coldly as he saw Han Tiendi attacked head-on. He did not dodge. A punch was thrown forward. The brilliant fire dragon that surrounded him was smashed forward ruthlessly. Bang! Blood qi and the fire dragon collided in an earth-shaking fashion. The terrifying wind shattered the many mountains below into dust. Countless groups of people hurriedly found some hiding places. The destructive force from the battle between the two unmatchable people in the sky was far too shocking. Be careful. Xiao Yan and the others hurriedly formed the defensive barrier. This, along with the fire barrier that Xiaoyang had placed initially, barely managed to block that terrifying wind. Bang bang bang. Xiaoyang's and Han Tiandi's 100,000 feet large bodies in the sky took a couples of steps backwards. Each of their step caused the space within 10,000 feet to be shattered into black emptiness. However, they charged forward immediately after they pulled back. This kind of fight was not extremely spectacular, but it was a collision of extremely strength. No one could imagine just how shocking it was when the 200,000 feet large beings clashed physically. Clouds and wind surged as the collision occurred. Lightning flashed. It was as though the entire world was trembling because of this fight. The clash of the two enormous beings had clearly caused an extremely great destruction to the central plains. The land continued to shake. Huge crack lines formed deep gullies that had split the central plains into two. All life were terrified under this tremor. Just a slight ripple would be able to kill even an elite Do Sheng. Xiao Yan and the others watched the distant sky with pale faces. The space there was repeatedly collapsing. This damage was subsequently repaired. This cycle continued, causing one's paws to stand in fear. Such a battle continued for a full half a day. Rumbling shocking sound had spread from the central plains and reverberated across the entire Do Chi continent. Some of the experts outside of the central plains had also detected this tremor. Immediately, they began to charge in the direction of the central plains. However, the terrifying wind that came blowing their way when they were about to step into the area of the central plains caused them to spit out blood and retreat. All of these experts, who appeared calm earlier, had ashen faces. None of them dared to venture in. Flame mysterious explosion. Another extremely striking earth-shaking collision occurred in the distant sky. A low cry, which had been suppressed for a long time, suddenly sounded during that clash. Soon after, a terrifying firestorm swept apart. A figure landed violently and smashed the distant mountain range into a deep pit. Xiao Yan's group immediately rejoiced after seeing the huge figure falling onto the ground. This was because that person was actually Han Tendi. From the looks of it, Xiaoyang had occupied the upper head in this head-on clash between the two. Relying on medicinal pill to advance into the Dodi class is indeed not considered the best option. Xiaoyang has obtained the inheritance of the ancient god. Moreover, he had trained with great effort within the heavenly tomb for nearly 3 years. On the other hand, Han Qiandi had only spent half a year. An excitement rose on Zhu Kuan's face as he said. Everyone smiled with great joy upon hearing his words. The great pressure within their hearts had also completely disappeared. Compared to Jiyu Yuan's group, the expressions of those from the Han clan suddenly paled. They also clearly understood what kind of ending would occur if Xiaoyang emerged victorious. Bang! The huge body in the deep gully once again soared towards the sky while their hearts were panicking. The former looked at Xiaoyang in a somewhat miserable manner. Han Tiendi, it seems that your blood D body is no match for my flame D body. Xiaoyang slowly suppressed the churning blood within his body and laughed. Moreover, it seems that your strength is beginning to be exhausted. Han Tiendi's expression was extremely gloomy. He was well aware of the condition within his body. After having exchanged blows, he discovered that even though his strength was also extremely frightening, the stamina of his aura was inferior to Xiaoyang, perhaps as a result of him using medicinal pill. Additionally, Xiaoyang's Dodi body was built from many heavenly flames. It was naturally incomparably strong. Even his blood D body was actually a little inferior. If this continued, it was likely that he would really be the defeated party. This was something that he would definitely not allow to happen. Do not celebrate too early. Han Tiendi's eyes swept over the central plains below. A savage expression flashed across them. Xiaoyang, originally, I did not intend to do this. However, you are asking for it. Today, I shall use this entire central plains to bury you. Han Tiendi waved his large hand after his dense voice sounded. A bright blood light shot downwards and finally entered the land. Subsequently, everyone was stunned to see countless blood light spreading with lightning-like speed after landing on the ground. The many blood lines appeared, just like the blood vessels of the central plains. Xiaoyang was a little startled as he watched this scene. Looking down from above, he could see that the blood light was enveloping the entire central plains with an extremely terrifying speed. Bang bang bang. The central plains suddenly began to shake violently while Xiaoyang was feeling startled. Many 100,000 feet large blood lights shot from various spots on the central plains towards the sky. The direction that these blood light has risen from, it seems to be the places where the Han clan had placed the devouring spirit eliminating life formation. Jiyu Yuan suddenly exclaimed as he looked at the spots where the blood light rose. If the positions where these formations were placed are added up, Zhu Kuan seemed to have recalled something at this moment. His expression suddenly changed as he cried out in shock, these positions actually also form a formation if they were added up. Such large array, Yang Jin's group were shocked. A formation that surrounded the entire central plains. Was there really someone who could achieve this? Xiaoyang, my Han clan had prepared for 1,000 years. We are ready for even the worst scenario. You will definitely die today. Blood light covered the central plains. Those spread over the vast sky. It turned into an incredibly large and strange formation. This formation is passed down from the first elite Dodi of my Han clan. Its name is the Slaughtering D Array. Han Tiendi's eyes looked at Xiaoyang in a strange manner. He laughed in a dark and cold manner. They had really been elite Dodi dying in this array during the ancient era. Xiaoyang's eyes sunk slightly. He lifted his head to look at the strange formation in the sky with blood light lingering over it. He could indeed detect a trace of danger from it. You are indeed worthy of being Han Tendi. It is possible for you to even predict the situation today. Xiaoyang spoke in a low and deep voice. This great formation required an extremely complicated preparation. Unfortunately, Xiaoyang's eyesight was not sufficiently good. He was actually unable to see the true use of the devouring spirit eliminating life formation. Preparing for the worst-case scenario. In everything we do. This is the reason that the Han clan can survive until today. Xiaoyang, I have activated this formation by using the bloods of tens of millions of descendant citizens. You have already lived up to your ability by dying in this formation. After the monstrous sea of blood surged into the formation, a strange light suddenly flickered within it. The blood light gathered rapidly. Finally, it gathered and turned into a huge transparent blood blade that contained an endless bloody stench in front of the countless pairs of eyes. The blood blade was extremely strange. It did not have a hilt. The blood light lingering over it seemed to be able to even split this world. The bright sun in the sky had dimmed as this strange blood blade appeared. The whole world gradually darkened. It appeared as though even the sun, moon and clouds were terrified of that strange blood blade. Everyone from the Han clan, listen up. Offer yourselves as a sacrifice for the blade. Han Tendi suddenly cried out sternly the moment the blood blade appeared. The Han clan army in the distance quickly broke out in a commotion. After which, thousands of experts clenched their teeth and shot forward. Swoosh. Han Tendi had an indifferent expression. His hand seal changed and the blood blade flashed. Soon after, the experts from the Han clan tens of thousands of feet away, who had rushed forward, ended up with their heads leaving their bodies. Blood spluttered and their bodies quickly withered. Finally, they turned into dust that scattered over this world. After absorbing the blood of these experts from the Han clan, the strange blood blade also appeared increasingly real. Xiaoyang, it's over. Han Tiandi's eyes were crazy as they loomed at the strange blade. A mouthful of essence blood was spat out. A humming blade cry was immediately emitted as this essence blood landed on the blood blade. The feeling of danger in Xiaoyang's heart was increasingly dense as this blade sound appeared. The entire place was quiet as everyone watched this scene in the sky. They could feel a kind of extremely terrifying aura from the strange blood blade. It was very likely that this attack could seriously injure Xiaoyang. Slaughtering the ghost blood blade. That legend is actually real. Xiao Yuan's expression had become extremely pale at this moment. Others might perhaps not recognize this so-called blood blade, but he remembered that he had once read about a lot of records about the slaughtering the ghost blood blade from the ancient books. This thing had really once killed an elite Dodi and shocked the continent. It was unexpected that after tens of thousands of years, they would actually be able to personally witness the legendary fierce weapon. This is bad. Xiao Tuan clenched his fist tightly. His expression was as white as sheet as he muttered. This video will end here.